Ooh, spooky. Hello, guys. My name's Aaron. And today, I have my boy, Nathaniel.
Oh, I'm your boy? Hi,
Yeah.
I'm Nathaniel. Also known as the cool, confident one.
Yeah, the chief. And I got the...
I'm your girl.
Raul. Let me say your name first. I got Raul with me.
I'm his girl.
I got my main man, Tyler, who's sitting by me.
What up?
And then myself. So.
God, is this the Aaron show?
Yeah,
I guess, I don't know.
It is
Yep.
the Aaron show now.
Okay, Aaron, what are we talking about then?
We're going to talk about a lot of paranormal activity.
Spiritual / paranormal
Supernatural. Yeah.
or supernatural, I guess.
Sorry.
Yeah, you got to read the thing.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I can't even
I
see it
mean-
this angle.
Okay, so we should go around saying what we are, like what we believe first. Raul, you want to go first then?
Okay. So I'm agnostic, I guess. I don't really believe in any kind of religion, so I don't believe in like a god or a heaven or a hell or I don't know any type of deity or something like that. So yeah.
Well, you know what agnostic means, right? Because
Yeah.
just not believing is an atheist.
Yeah. I guess I'm kind of in that borderline where I just say I don't know and I don't really think about it.
That's what agnostic is,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, Tyler?
I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. And so that's where I stand on the religious side of things.
Okay.
Why?
Well, we'll get into that after.
Okay.
We're going to introduce them, we'll say why.
I'm agnostic as well. That's why I looked at Raul like that.
'Cause
I
can-
No one
believe-
saw.
I believe, and hey, shut up. I believe, and then times I don't believe. It's in between. I need proof.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've called myself an atheist for years, but it's pretty much agnostic. It's like if you don't, I don't believe it, but I don't know for sure. So I'll still go with atheist just because it's kind of a way. And so, Raul, did you say why you were agnostic?
No.
Let's get into that. Why? Why are you agnostic?
So I was raised a Catholic, and that wasn't my choice. I don't know. I've had some experiences, and I've just kind of looked at the world, and I just didn't believe my religion was correct under kind of viewpoint.
What specific experience? What's one you can think of?
I guess. During my accident, I was at the hospital, so I ended up like seeing kids with cancer, and so for some reason, I was taught that God loved us, and at that point I didn't understand why he would allow people to suffer like that. So that was like one of the main things that made me start thinking about my religion, and eventually there was other things that led to me dropping my religion and turning into an agnostic.
But that was the spark, though?
Yeah, that was the main spark.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago then.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, Tyler?
Well, I'm a Christian, you know. I did grow up in a Christian home, so I kind of had that influence. But I never really, I wouldn't say I was a Christian until about 4 years ago. Because that's when I actually really started to believe in it. I wasn't just going to church and doing whatever. But I believe in it just from stuff I've seen, you know. I could see how what the Bible says can kind of translate to everyday life. And, you know, suffering, you know, I see that all the time. And my brother, he has moved further and further away from Christ, and I've seen him get worse and worse and worse in his life and how he's living. So, I mean, that kind of helps to see, like, how it all works.
So you feel that's why he's getting worse? Because he's moving away?
Well, I mean, he's pushed further away from God, and as that happens, his life has been getting way worse. And I feel like once he finally hits that bottom point and, you know, turns back to God, his life will start getting better. He'll start actually searching for help.
What do you have to say about Raul's, he saw kids with cancer?
So, you know, I don't know how that situation's planning out, but that could, maybe they're not a believer, and this life-threatening condition can make them, you know, rethink, you know, how has my life been going? How is this, or maybe even loved ones. Maybe they're a believer, but their loved ones aren't. And so it kind of pushes them like, oh, life isn't, you know, this long, everlasting thing. And what is life about? What is what gave us life? What, give these questions. And, that's just how I see stuff like that.
Okay, well, Aaron's messing with something, so I'll just let you know mine. So I was similar to Raul in that, like, it was never really put on me. My mom was always kind of just like, it's there. We never really went to church or anything. But she did put me in a Christian school from kindergarten up until I left in, like, 10th grade, I think. And so we had a weekly chapel service. We'd go for like an hour or two a day, pray, do whatever they did, and read things. I started to realize there that, like, we would pray at the end and then we would leave. But when we would pray, everyone would bow their head, close their eyes. I looked around and I was like the only one not doing it. And, like, it was kind of like, I don't know why we're doing this. Like, I'll pray, but I'm thinking about other stuff. And that was kind of the seed for me that was like, I just never got it, I just never truly believed. And there was a few other things, I guess, down the line that solidified it. Like YouTube, I found there was other, like, atheists. Aaron actually showed me one when he was a Christian or Catholic. Mm-hmm. And it was, that was mine. I used to fight with people about it, but now I'm just kind of like, I don't talk about it.
Yeah, same here. I would fight with my mom a lot about it because she doesn't like that I'm agnostic.
Oh, she knows?
Yeah, she knows.
Wow.
Yeah, because she would, I was still, like, in high school and we would still try to go to church. I was about 17 when I told her I'm not going because I don't believe in it anymore. Yeah, so basically she would get angry.
Wow. Yeah. What was yours, Aaron?
Same thing as everyone. Same exact thing. I got pretty much lived by the book, the Bible. It got kind of annoying to me. That's mainly why I stopped. I wanted more proof, I really wanted more signs. I was like, well, because, like, I remember this is when I finally realized, like, why do I believe in this? It was at what was it? Bible class. It was back in, like, I was like in 5th, 6th grade, something like that.
Wow.
And well, this lady told me this one story. She was saying that she talked to God, and I thought it was like the coolest thing ever. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to talk to God. I want to do that so bad. I tried, like, for a week straight, trying my hardest, trying to, like, just trying to do something, some way to speak to God, like what your interpretation was on it. Me, it was close my eyes and just think, in my head constantly, and I just wanted to hear another voice so bad, and I just kept trying and trying and trying, and it just kind of, dawned on me. It kind of sucked. I wanted to hear his voice, and I was just disappointed. And I guess till that day, I'm like, well, if I don't have living proof of our, Lord and Savior and all that, then why should I really believe in it,
How old were you when you finally were like, okay, I'm agnostic?
Well, I was in between at first. I believed, and, well, the main reason why I believed is because of my family. I don't want him to be disappointed in me. I don't want him to be like, oh, well, why are you not? You're gonna, believe in this and that, and if you didn't believe in one way, then it was the wrong way.
Yeah.
So I was like in between, but I guess it was around. I was pretty young, actually. I'd probably have to say about 13-ish.
Really?
I was in between, though. And I didn't want to tell anybody because I didn't want to be like, I didn't want to tell, like, even you, because, me and you just hang out all the damn time. Like, I just didn't want to say, like, oh, yeah, because I thought you believed in it, too. So I don't know. I kind of, like, hid from, kept it hidden in a, I was going to say a closet. I just kept it hidden the whole time. And I just finally, I came out,
That's weird because hung out in middle school and high school, and I always thought he was religious. So I did the same thing. I hid it from him and everyone, just because I thought he was a believer.
I don't know, man.
I didn't find out until, like, I think it was like 2 years ago, where you said that, and I was like, dude, no way. I was like, no way.
Yeah, but and, like, even now, like, my girlfriend's family, they're, like, super Christians. They're the ones that speak in tongues, and my girlfriend
Christians speak in tongues?
Well, Yeah, you haven't heard about that?
No.
And they speak in tongues like, it's weird as hell. Look it up. It's ridiculous. And they're saying the Lord's speaking through them. It's really strange. You do that?
No.
Tyler?
Do you have anything to say about anything so far, Tyler? Any interjections, disagreements?
No, I mean, it is your choice to believe in whatever, and I don't have evidence further than the Bible to just show you that saying, this is why it's right. And it's hard talking to, like, non-Christians, because it's like, they kind of think of it as, why should I do this? I don't really agree with it. Even if it was right, there's this other religion that they're way more kind and giving to others, and they do more for other people than Christians do. Like, Buddhists, Hindus, they're super good. They're very kind. I mean, but it's kind of gets to a preference at some points.
That doesn't like bother you, like having
does.
only the book.
It does. It's kind of hard, but you can learn a lot from the Bible. I mean, if you read it through, there's a lot of stuff in it, a lot of information, how to live your life, how to be more godly, because that's what Christianity is all about. It's not becoming a perfect human being. It's about becoming a little bit more godly, because we're already the most ungodly things in the world.
The next thing on our list are things that we believe outside our religion.
The next thing
So,
on the list are things that we believe outside our religion.
Like what?
So, I believe
Life in this universe.
that we're not the only life in this universe, I guess.
We can't be. There's no way.
That ties into, for me, why I don't believe in God in a way too. Like, it's just like, why is it that there's so many different universes and galaxies, and why is it that we only believe in this God? Who knows who made it? We don't have the exact proof. That's mainly why too. I don't believe. It's just there's so much. It's ridiculous. It's just way too much.
Do you think there's other stuff, Tyler?
So I really have no idea, because the Bible that's given to us is just about mankind, God's image. And, there are intelligent species on Earth, like, monkeys are pretty smart, dolphins are pretty smart. There could be other intelligent life in the galaxy that I don't know if there could be other, like, life like us that has, a conscience and can do other things. Like build stuff, create new things, tools. And so I really don't know where I stand on that. It's kind of a gray area for me.
Yeah.
So I'll go next, I guess. Well, some things I know it's kind of funny how I say I don't believe in God, but I need proof and all this. But I was gonna say, like, in Bigfoot and stuff like that, I do believe in. I know it's kind of similar. They're like, well, why don't you believe in God? You don't have proof. Oh, you don't have proof for Bigfoot and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a similar thing. But the thing is, there's so many stories that people have actually said to this day, though.
Yeah.
And that I actually believe in, such as my mom. She said when she was younger that she was a little kid. And she said she just went outside to go play. It was pretty dark. And she said there was this extremely big guy. Like, he was fully... A lot of people don't believe her to this day, and she was so terrified. She said that he just looked at her and he walked away, and he moved extremely fast just by walking. And she tried telling everyone, nobody believed her, and just everybody was like, oh, whatever, you're just a kid. It's your imagination.
Yeah.
And I believe my mom, because she's like into that supernatural stuff. So that's why I'm like that, I guess, because I don't know, it just blew my mind, and that's why I believe in urban legends, I guess,
So I guess, like, the ghosts and stuff, because you would think not believing in stuff like that, like atheist kind of goes with ghosts and stuff, but I've had some, I've had some really weird experiences that can only be explained, that can't be explained through like, they're like supernatural or something. And so, I don't know, that to me is weird how you can say like there's no God in afterlife, but then like what is a ghost then?
Exactly.
And I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, my brother actually, when he's in Afghanistan, he kind of like a Bigfoot, but not. I don't know exactly his story, but he said he was playing around with their camera, their infrared camera, at night, and he saw something. He thought, because the Taliban, they put a blanket over their fire so that the U.S. can't see it, but it still creates heat, and so you'll see that blanket of heat. And so he thought that's what it was until it stood up and walked over the mountain, and it was like about 10 feet taller than the trees around it.
Shit.
And so, he was kind of freaked out. He to this day doesn't know how to explain that.
What about aliens?
Aliens? I don't know if they're as, like, I don't want to make it sound like humans are like the smartest thing and we know everything. But I don't want to say that the different types of life that are out there in the universe have the same capacity that we have. I don't think they've developed as much as we have. And so, I don't know. It'll be hard to kind of like show any kind of evidence that there is life.
So what if I told you that I've seen something?
Like UFOs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so
This is awesome.
it's about, Aaron lived out in kind of a rural wooden area around a lot of trees and stuff. So it was him. No. It was his brother and I. We went outside about
It was
4
like
4 in the morning to make a fire. Just, it was the only thing to do, so we did that. Aaron was super tired, and he went to bed. And so we're talking there, and the house is behind me, their house, and Aaron's brother, Randy, like, looks up over the house and says, kind of like, what the hell is that? And so I look up, and the sky was kind of like it was like, how can I explain it? The moon was pretty bright out. So you could see the sky, and it was, where you can kind of see the ground really good, too. And so I look up, and it's just like this black circle, or like super dark circle. It had to be really high over his house, but you could see it cut out the stars, It could block out the stars and the moon, and we watched it go over us and over the tree line, and we chased it down the road. And I kept asking Randy because I thought it was a dream. And I'm like, dude, you see this, right? I'm not crazy. He's like, no, dude, I see it too. And it had like one single light in the middle. It wasn't that bright, but you could tell it was a light on it. So what would you say about that? And we went back in the house and woke Aaron up, and he missed it.
Oh no.
He missed it.
I'm disappointed to this
He could
day.
have this story with me.
Did it fly away?
It just eventually kind of quietly went over to where we couldn't see it, over the tree line.
Wait, was this thing moving?
Yes, it was moving.
Okay. Oh, I'm not sure. That's weird.
I believe in that 100%. Like,
He was so mad, and I feel so bad because that's...
I mean, it is possible because I don't know. You guys know that nothing, well, so far from what we know in physics, nothing travels faster than the speed of light, right?
Yeah.
So, I guess maybe there is a possibility that life has like broken that boundary and like
I think it
knows
has.
a loophole through
really do.
the physics that we know already.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's kind of hard to believe without seeing it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, if I had Randy here,
Yeah.
he could confirm that story.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I know you wanted to say something, Tyler. Let me just finish this. He didn't tell his girlfriend at the time for a long time. I don't know if he ever told her
I don't think
about
so.
that.
Probably
And
not.
they're no longer together, but like just because we didn't want to seem crazy for the longest time, we didn't tell people. It was probably a few years, except Aaron, because he was there.
Oh, you missed it. Thanks.
Yeah. He
Should've
stayed
woke
up
me
the
I
rest.
tried.
He stayed up the rest of that night looking up
It
UFO
was
stuff.
terrible.
I mean, I've seen lights like that.
I was
just
looking
kinda
for
like,
the fault in our stars.
Oh my
I'm
god!
just kidding.
But it was,
Jeez.
I don't, it was weird.
But that black kind of circle
Yeah.
thing that blocks out the stars, that's a little bit odd. Like, I never heard of that. I've only seen, like,
It
light
was-
passing through, and I would always think those are kind of like meteorites that are, like...
It was high, but not high enough. It was like a few hundred feet. I'm not sure if that's accurate, but like a football field maybe up. So I guess that's not that high.
But
about
one thing
300
was it moving fast, by the way?
It was kind of like, it's hard to tell when it's that far.
Yeah, I guess.
But to me, so like if you're looking at the sky, almost like a plane. If it wasn't that far, but how fast it moves across the sky. Just imagine that closer and bigger.
There was just a black circle.
It was just kind of like a black
And
circle
one
with this
little-
little dim light in the middle.
Huh.
You couldn't tell the texture of it, just black. What did you-
So like, I've had a very similar experience, except it was at my house in the city, and it wasn't a circle; it was a triangle. I know these are like the
Oh,
two
yeah.
most,
Mm-hmm.
iconic, like
Sightings.
UFO shapes, and mine was the same thing. I woke up because my walls shook for a couple seconds. And so
Really?
I was like, I woke up, I looked out the window, massive triangle with 5 lights on it, one in the very front, 2 on the side that were a little bit further apart, and then 2 even further in the back. So it was a triangle shape, no stars in the middle. It was moving very slow, and I instantly went and tried to get my parents. I knocked on their door. They didn't wake up, so I went back and I was looking, and it was still moving farther and farther away. And like, I was freaking out. I kept knocking on their door just a little bit. I wasn't like banging on it, but
It's kind of like,
Just
come on,
like-
nervous
Yeah,
knock.
it's like,
come on, hey.
I cannot be the only person to see this. And then, by the second time I went back and looked at it, it was gone.
Yeah.
And then, like, back to the moving faster than light. There are theories like wormholes,
Yeah.
warp drives, stuff that you're not actually going faster than light. You're just moving a distance, a very large distance in a couple seconds because, bending space and time, or you're pulling space and time, like warp drives. So, I think it is possible because theoretically we can make a warp drive. And I think they're working on actually testing it.
That's
You
why.
know, with
That's
the
why I think
brakes.
the triangles are as military.
You think it's military?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean,
You think they're just testing that or what?
that's what I used to think. I used to think, oh, it's just military technology, because it's always in like, oh, Nevada, there's another sighting. Oh, all these places with Air Force bases. It's like, oh, okay. Except if you really look into it, these shapes have been seen all around the world, different locations, different.
That's true.
Like there's even some painting or like older paintings. I don't know if they're real or not, but I've seen like not cave drawings, but like on wool, where
Oh,
they
yeah.
would do
Really?
drawings on the wall, and they would have objects like
That's interesting.
that we don't know how to explain it.
Uh-huh.
I don't think they're aliens. I believe in more that these, if they're not just government experience, they're actually like demons trying to trick us. That's why they can shapeshift and disappear whenever they want to. It's just to mess with us, basically.
Yeah.
And so that's what I believe in on that.
Do you guys know anything about that?
About what?
Like demons messing with you?
No, not really.
So that's a really strong,
It's a good theory, though. I never
Native
heard that
belief?
one. Really?
is they have night. I don't know if we covered that in the last one that I'm, native.
Yeah. Oh.
But those who don't know, I am. And so they're like skinwalkers and things like that. And these are
Oh, yeah.
some of the spirit experiences I've had too, where like it happens a lot to Navajos, I think. It happens to all of them, but I think Navajos, it seems to happen a lot. They're skinwalkers who shapeshift, and they do it just to get in your head. And like the main way to get rid of them is to show them it doesn't bug you. But so one person I knew, their dad, he was young, and he would look out over, it was kind of like a city area. Well, I don't know about city, but he could see like over another house. And he said he saw something that he saw was like the air conditioning, like a swamp cooler on top.
Yeah.
And he looked away and looked back, and it was gone. And he thought that was weird, looked away again, and like came back, and it was there again. That's kind of what they do, is get in your head. Like Tyler's saying, trick you. They kind of like make, be like, no one will believe you. And they have a bunch of different stories like that. It's weird what they have.
That's awesome.
that like they've been chased by one too, and it circled their house, and like this is multiple people too, like 3 or 4 that will run from it. It chased their house with the native rattle, and did this really weird high pitched singing.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
and I'm not sure why that happens a lot to natives, and in my pueblo, it might be all.
Yeah.
If you see a native wearing something traditional outside of like a dance or something, like if they're wearing moccasins all random at night, they're a witch, or if they've got like the skunk skin or something. And so if they're carrying a bag that's said to be the person they are, that's their heart, and they kind of took it from them.
What?
Yeah, there's a lot like that.
That's pretty creepy, man. I didn't think natives were that crazy.
And so I've got one that happened. It was, so I was on a couch and there was what is that thing right there? An end table type thing.
End table.
And it had a lamp on it, and it was behind me, and I'm watching TV, and it was on, and all of a sudden, we had a dog at the time, but the dog was in my mom's room. The lamp became unplugged and flew at the wall and shattered. It was glass. And it was me and her, and the dog was in her room and ran out to see what that was.
Wow.
And that's just one of them that happened. So we came in and actually had it's weird that natives don't like to be spiritual, but they still believe in that stuff. Well, they like to be spiritual, I guess, but even ones that aren't. And so we came in and had a medicine man.
You did really?
Yeah, we had a medicine. He did whatever he prays, and then lit something on fire and took it through each room, and it was gone after that.
Dang, that's crazy. Well, I got one. I don't really know if it was super, paranormal or super. Yeah, I have no clue what it was. But there was one time when I had a futon, can fold into a bed, and well, my brother and my sister, we're young, we're little kids, and we're just all sleeping in the bed, and we'd always do that just so we tell jokes and talk and just all that stuff that kids do. And so we're just passed
kid
out.
stuff.
Kid stuff. And I don't know why. I just thought of that zombie thing from what was it?
Which one?
Dempsey. Freak bags. Sorry.
Freak bags.
Freak
bag jumping out of night. Freak bags.
Yeah, we're just passed out, and we see this. I see this really bright light at my window, and I was like, at first I thought it was my neighbor, because we only had one neighbor, and we saw every time he'd come down, his lights would shine on my window, and I was like, is that him? And I was like, it's not going away, and it stayed there for about, I'd say, a good 30 seconds, and it was extremely bright the whole time. I opened the blinds.
The Amanda Bynes.
I opened the blinds, and I was like getting blinded by this light. I could not see anything. It was just too bright for me to see. And we all ran to my parents' room, and we're telling about it. They came, and it was gone, and we're freaking out. All 3 of us saw it too. And
That's that's like a common one that I hear.
I don't know what that is though.
Is they just kind of manifest in this ball of light that's super bright.
A lot of people say it's witches though.
Yeah, that's what all the native stuff is they witches. Do you have anything like that, Roll?
No.
Nothing creepy has happened?
Well, not to me. I guess the only thing was, so my mom, I don't know, this is weird. This is like a little bit family drama too, but anyways, when my mom got married to my dad, my dad's mom didn't like my mom for a while. And then after I was born, a couple months afterwards, my mom ended up getting sick, like weirdly sick. Like she would go to the doctors and they couldn't really explain her symptoms. They couldn't diagnose anything specific. And so basically what my mom said is she went to a curandera.
Which is?
Kind of like a medicine man. But
okay.
And they basically, I don't know what they did, like use some herbs and stuff, like spiritual stuff too.
Smoke some weed.
And so basically they told her that my dad's mom put a curse on her.
Wow.
And
Dang.
And then also my mom said that she found like a Satanist book too.
Whoa!
What?
Seriously?
At her place, yeah.
At Her at
in
Your
Mexico
grandma's?
at my grandma's place.
what?
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god!
I never really believed in it, and even to this day, like it's kind of hard to believe. But that's like the only weirdest thing that like I've heard about.
That's crazy.
That is actually pretty damn terrifying.
That's like a common thing with natives too. Is they'll kind of curse an object and they'll pretend to be friendly with you and give it to you as a gift. This actually happened to my mom. She felt like these people at her work didn't like her because she worked in a pueblo, and they gave her this feather and she was hanging it in her car. And her friend at the time was a medicine man, and he asked her, "Where'd you get this feather?"
Mm.
And she said, "Oh, it's someone whatever." And he's like, "You should let me take this from you." And so he took it, and she was having like a bad few weeks as long as she had that. And as soon as he took it, he gave her
Dang.
something else too. I think can't
Just
remember.
Right on.
Yeah.
Detected it right away. That's
pretty
crazy. So, you guys want to talk about the paranormal stuff then?
Sure.
Because I have like a lot.
What do
of
you
paranormal
got
stuff.
then? I thought that's what we were talking about.
Well,
Just
it
supernatural.
was supernatural to me.
I mean, that kind of falls into the.
Yeah.
I get
Yeah, it's
it.
like the same.
Sorry. Okay. Anyways, that was weird. See that? Oh, that's just my family.
Oh my gosh. Dude, you're creeping yourself out.
Dude, whose fan is that? Oh, that's my fan. I'm sorry. Okay,
So
that looks.
that's a big reason why I have problems. Because you tell somebody a place is haunted, they're gonna build stuff up in their head that every little creak that they wouldn't have noticed before, every little
No.
noise that they wouldn't have noticed before would mess with them.
It's like, have you guys heard the Stairway to Heaven backwards?
Yeah, if you listen to it backwards, I don't.
It
understand
sounds like
anything.
jumbled mess, but if you're like, oh, this kind of sounds like this,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
put the words in front of
Exactly.
someone, they're gonna look for that.
Yeah.
I get you, yeah.
But I have this one story that I would like to tell. It happened at my old school that I used to go to, the Christian school that Nathaniel and Rollo went to. It
Don't
was,
tell me it was McCracken.
yeah, McCracken.
Oh, shit.
Why are you saying that?
I personally don't believe in it,
Okay,
but that's just me. Cause
wasn't the urban legend at school was that he hung himself or something like that?
yeah, something like that. So he killed.
He hung himself in his room.
Which was the name of the gym too.
McCracken gym, and this gym it would go underground pretty much. You know, you'd have to step down.
Yeah, that gym was sketchy.
It was pretty creepy, and so the first one I'm gonna talk about is it ties in with it, but anyways. So my cousin, he was a huge skeptic about it. You know, he was like, oh, I don't believe in that. My mom extremely into it. She was like, you know what? Let's go to. We're at a basketball game, and you know how middle school used to play there. We kind of like snuck in the back. And we went in the room, and like you couldn't turn any of the lights on. It was weird. And we went in there. It was dark as hell. It was really creepy, and it was just weird and really eerie. And so we're walking back, and right behind me, I get like my cousin like bumps into me, and I was like, "Why'd you do that?" He's like, "Somebody pushed me," and me and my mom looked back at him and we're like, "No, we're right in front of you this whole time." It's like, "No, somebody pushed me," and we're like looking, and there was nobody in there. And
This was during a basketball game?
yeah, it was during a basketball game. No
Wow.
one was in the back though, because we went back there and we're looking around, and he just got pushed. And to that day, he believed in the urban legend. But that's the only one of them. The second one was when me and my brother were waiting after basketball practice. We waited for my parents. It was like 8:00 or 9, something like that. You used to, yeah, it was about 9, huh? Mm-hmm. Something like that. Well, we waited like an extra hour, and we were just sitting right next to the McCracken windows. You know where the windows are at, where the bleachers would lead
You
up.
could see him.
Yeah.
See outside.
The bleachers would lead up, and there's the windows like right behind you from going all the way up the bleachers. And so we're sitting by it, and we're just waiting for my parents. And like I think the lights were still on. I don't remember, but it was crazy as hell. We hear this one like if you'd hit a huge window, like boom, you know, and we're like, "What was that?" And me and him looking, we're like, "Oh, it's somebody messing with us." Me and my brother, we hit it back, boom, and we're just laughing. We're like, "Ooh, it's somebody just messing with us." And we set it back down. We hear it again, and me and him look at each other like, "Okay, that's just ridiculous." So we do it like just keep slamming it. And then we're just like, we sat back down. We just hear it nonstop, just. And me and him freaking walked like across to the benches. Remember where those benches were at? By the building?
Yeah.
It was about like, I'd say 50 feet away, something like that. And we could still hear it, and it like stopped when my parents came. Me and him were freaking out. It was really weird. And till this day, it's still like just, like I have chills talking about it because it was just so
Even if that's a person, they're hanging out at a school when it's dark.
Yeah, and they
slamming
had
on
all
windows.
they had all of the freaking buildings turned off, so that was just weird.
That's sketchy.
Scary experience for me.
No one else has anything like that? You got one?
No, not really.
Really?
No.
Maybe I was going to say it's like a native and Hispanic thing, but you're Mexican. Usually they have a lot of things that happen to them.
Not me, not really. I mean, the only thing was like a near-death experience, but that's it.
Yeah.
And that wasn't really exciting at all. It was just like the common, you see a light, and then, like, mine was weird. Like, I blacked out during my car accident. I thought I was dead, basically. Yeah. And I don't know what. Like, there was like a light, and like I was going towards it. Like I wasn't like I had no form. I was just kind of moving towards it. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just like my viewpoint was just kind of moving, and I had like no arms, no limbs, no anything. And so basically, I felt like I was traveling for like 10 minutes doing that, and then eventually, like, the light just kind of like went into the picture of what was going on at my accident.
Wow.
So that was the only supernatural thing like
that's really cool.
I've ever
I can't
experienced.
even like imagine that. That's crazy.
It was weird.
You didn't have the whole life flash before your eyes thing?
No.
Did you?
No.
So I did. Mine wasn't anything like Rolls. I just had, some drunk guy point some guns at me. But, like, it did have that cliche life flash before my eyes. And the weird thing that kept happening was I kept seeing myself dead. Because the gun he had the most, I think, was his shotgun. Because he ended up pulling out, like, 5 guns on me and, like, this big-ass Bowie knife and shit. And it was ridiculous. That was the one I kept seeing, though, was myself, like, just with, like, a huge area of my center. Kind of
just blown up.
Yeah, just blown up. Not like a hole through me, but like just kind of like a big bloody mess. And I kept seeing myself dead, and so I thought I would die that day. And then once it was all over, like, I did realize I saw a lot of my life and was like, not a lot happened, but it seemed like a lot. But like, as soon as it was done, I just threw up.
Really?
Like, the cops got there, and I just went and I threw up. And this one cop made a joke. This is like a tangent, but he made a joke, like something like, "What's up with you, dude?" I wanted to punch that motherfucker in his dick.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Give me your gun. I'll show you what's wrong with me."
Well, yeah, that's a traumatic experience. I'd probably do the same thing because that's never happened to me.
Well, since you guys don't have any,
I got more.
you got more stories?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. Now that I think of it, I really don't like telling this story because it is the most freaked out I've ever been. But
That's what we
Now we're getting into the good stuff.
Yeah.
so
We all sit up.
I do not know how to explain this. I have no idea how to explain it. I don't know if it's like possession or what. But for like about a week in a row, every single night, I would fall asleep for about an hour, wake up. I'd still have control over myself, but if I didn't do whatever thought was given to me, I would be in so much pain. Like, it was freaky. I hated it so much. I couldn't see anything, like a person or anything, but I could tell it was there. And
Wow.
it would be stupid tasks too. Like, you had to lay on the ground in this certain position, or you had to like move stuff around. Some stupid stuff that.
How would you know like what to do? You had it in your head already?
It's like it's not the voice in my head, but it was still a voice in my head.
So like schizophrenia or something like that?
I have
Sounds
no
like a
idea how to explain it because
demon.
it wasn't my thoughts.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
It
thinking.
was something else, and it was terrible because it was so painful if I didn't do whatever this thing was telling me to do.
What type of pain would you
It
experience?
was mostly in my stomach. It was just like it was turning, like I got stabbed and somebody was just rotating a knife inside my stomach.
How did you get rid of that?
Just went away after about a week. like happen every single night. I mean, I'd go to sleep for a little bit, and then I'd wake up and have to do all this stupid stuff. But after, a week, never happened again. I've never had any experience like that ever again. Nothing has ever come close to that.
Did it just happen all of a sudden, though?
Yeah, out of nowhere.
Wow.
It was like 6 years ago, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
5 or 6 years ago. And, I had no idea how to explain it.
Did anyone like see you, or did you ever try to record it?
No.
Like you doing these actions?
You pretty much just hit it then. Have you ever talked to anybody about it?
I've told my parents, but I'm pretty sure they don't believe me. And so I've just kind of kept it in because nobody's going to believe that.
The main reason we don't tell anyone
Yeah.
our things.
Nobody believes you.
That's really scary.
Yeah,
I would
that's
hate to
weird.
be in that
That's like,
position.
it's terrifying.
That sounds like a form of like extreme sleep paralysis.
Yeah, except I can move, though.
But he had to do tasks, too. That's
Yeah,
strange.
That's a weird thing. Like
I've never heard of something like that. That's
like doing those like simple
intriguing.
things too, and like being in pain. I don't know. I think being in pain was like the main indicator that it's not like a form of sleepwalking.
Mm-hmm.
People don't experience pain when you sleepwalk.
Yeah.
So what did you think it was then?
Well, I thought it was possession because I couldn't see, but I could tell there was a figure there. And I kind of had images every now and then of like a little mini all black person with red eyes. Like maybe a foot and a half tall.
Oh my
and
god,
they'd be
that's
standing
creepy,
next to
dude.
me. And the last night it happened, there was two. There was one all white with no features or anything. It was just all white.
Oh my god, that's scary.
And then the same black one that was always there. And you could tell it like it had cloth on it. But like it's like it was photoshopped into my sight.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't tell if it was actually there. Like it didn't seem like it was there, but I could see it.
Wow. That kind of goes with the things I was talking about earlier, that everyone who sees like these, I guess it's the skinwalkers, but like something weird happen, they usually can associate it to like this really short black figure.
Huh.
Kind of make, I don't know, sometimes they have weird sounds, but
Yeah.
the same thing, like it's just this short black figure. I don't know if they can ever make out features. They can just kind of make out it's small and like that.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I thought was weird is some of them, they say you can spit on it, and it like that's a way to get rid of it. Like so basically if you spit it on it and it hits it, it burns. And so there was this one, that same person, their dad, he was at a party or something, and they take like your hair or a fingernail or something,
Yeah.
and that's the way they can mess with you, is if they have that bit of DNA, they can mess with you with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was that little figure thing, because it was him and all his cousins or something like that, and they were all asleep in his living room, and they was kind of cutting off the hair with a scissor or something, or trying to cut it off, and he spit at it, and it hit it in the leg and left. And the next morning he saw his brother with like a burn on his leg that he had never seen before. So he thinks his brother was one for a while.
Damn.
I'm not sure how they dealt with that after, because that was all I heard.
Well, I have this other one that was the most recent one I had experiences about. I'd say, I don't know if I've told anybody about this actually. It was about it was actually like 8 months. What am I saying? At work it happened, and
It was at work?
yeah. So there's this one radio that I work by. You know, the ones where you could press a button and it plays the songs and all that.
Yeah.
Those little things.
You get to use those?
Yeah. There's like one set up on an end cap, and it was like there was no battery in it. Okay. There was a battery, but it wasn't like connected correctly.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I hear this exactly like that, but it was loud, like exactly like that. And I was like, does anybody else hear that? And everybody I talked to, they're like, no, I don't hear it. And I was like, what? So I got this other guy that believes in stuff like that, you know? And he's like, dude, I could hear that too. And I was like, you could hear this with me? He's like, yeah. And he just hears it was weird as shit. We take the battery out, and then, you know, it's gone. We're like, okay. So then we're like, yeah, whatever. I stayed working, and so it happened again, and I just threw the battery in there. It wasn't even connected, you know. And I guess it was kind of like a poltergeist that was happening. It was weird. And so this time though, one of the other guys that was the one that was with me there, he took out his phone and he was recording. It's like, dude, look at my screen. He shows me his screen. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with his screen.
Like,
it was like, so you have your camera, you know how it looks normal when you're looking around. He was pointing at something and it was like looking at the far left. It was the weirdest shit. Everything was like expanded out and like, it was the weirdest shit ever.
the hell?
Like fisheye,
Something like that.
kind of on the camera, like a wide angle.
Yeah,
except
but it was
not pointing at the right direction.
it
Yeah.
kind of looked like two screens together, and when you move, it was really weird. But it was stretched out too. And he was recording it, and he was like, "Oh my god, I got this recorded. This is awesome!" And it was freaking out. And then his phone, put it back in his pocket, and his music started playing. And I was like, "What the shit?" He's like, "Why is this playing?" And he paused it, put it back in his pocket. Mine started playing. I'm like, "What the hell's going on?" I turn it off and put it back, and then we take the battery out and leave it out. And next thing you know, a sign from the top falls, and it came so close to hitting one of the coworkers, and he's like, "Oh shit, that almost hit me!" And I'm like, "Dude, it was just crazy occurrences." And he checked back on his phone. We're looking at the video. It was normal.
And so you say, "Fuck you," and this job.
Yeah.
And
It was weird as hell. And actually, there's another little ghost that's, well, I believe it's a ghost. It always opens this one door in the freezer aisle, like where all the popsicles are at.
Ew, there's just a door always open?
Always open, dude. And we go and close it, come back, it's open. It's weird. It doesn't close.
it's like that dude who lived in, was it Toys R Us or something? And he
For like months.
yeah.
Oh,
He lived in
there's
Toys
a
R Us.
guy who's just no. I think it was like a Costco or somewhere like that.
Oh, because he would get food and stuff.
Well, and you know how they have those huge things with all the merchandise on it, and he would hide in between them, and like
Wow.
that dude was crazy.
That's kind of creepy.
So since you guys don't, well, I guess Tyler had a story. Roll, do you have a favorite urban legend then? Since you don't have a story.
Favorite urban legend.
Or I guess creepypastas would work, right?
Yeah, I think weird. Yeah,
It's kind of urban.
Creepypasta.
something that's kind of paranormal, or just out of the ordinary.
Not that I can think of right now.
Oh my god. Well, sounds like bullshit to me, you know.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess I'll start it off.
There you go.
I really like the Taos Hum, which those of you who don't know, in
one's
Taos, New
awesome.
Mexico,
Oh,
if you
that's
go
right.
there,
Mhm.
so many people, tourists, people who actually live there, no one can explain it.
Yep.
You'll hear a hum, and I believe it's been described as like a car in the distance coming towards you, just like I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced this myself, but so many people have, and it's like it's not in a specific spot in Taos. It's just Taos, New Mexico. You can hear this hum,
Yeah.
and so that really interests me.
I've been to Taos. I don't. Maybe I just didn't pay attention
I
or
didn't
listen
either.
for it.
It only happens to
So
a certain,
yeah.
you know,
It's a select
number of
thing.
people. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
People dub it as the seventh trumpet.
The
Some people.
seventh trumpet.
Yeah, playing.
That's kind of
That's
cool.
what they think what it is.
I
And,
kind of like that one.
but I thought it was pretty interesting. That one's a good one though. I didn't think you were gonna say one like that.
The Teos.
Yeah.
What's yours, Aaron?
I gotta.
Do you want me to go while you think?
Yeah, go ahead. Because I
Okay.
have a couple of them. It's just
So
hard.
I guess since we're including creepypasta,
Yeah.
the Marble Hornets,
oh,
Slender
yes.
Oh. that haunted my dreams
Dude.
and my life for so long. Have you seen the Marble Hornets roll?
No.
Did I ever show you? Oh,
Oh,
so it's
they're
basically
amazing.
Slender Man. It was the roots of Slender Man. It started off as creepypasta,
Yeah.
and then I think the dude took it and made Marble Hornets. So basically, it's just every video is just called Entry 1 or Entry whatever, and he still does it on YouTube.
Okay.
He does nothing else, no description, I don't think really, and it's just at first it was videotapes this one guy found of another guy who's making a student project or a student film, because weird stuff started happening to him, and he just had to film himself all the time. And so the one that, there's so many creepy ones. He's in a park looking around, and he kind of looks to the right, and you see just like Slenderman kind of run out of frame, and it's like, it's really well done.
Yeah.
There's times where he's at his house, and you can see it walk by his door, and it has to like look down because it's that tall. Look down to like peek in a window. And it scares the shit out of me still.
The one that haunted me, because I used to watch them because Nathaniel showed me.
Oh, they're so.
The one that fucking just terrified me every time. I would be passing out. I used to have my door open.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
That's the one. You know which one too, right?
Yes, I do.
And he's just standing by the door, and I imagined that in my brain. I saw it, and it. Oh my god! I was like, okay, fuck this. I'm closing my door.
So he's. I can't remember how it starts, but he ends up pointing his camera at the door, because I don't know why he just has to keep documenting it. So I guess he doesn't feel crazy. He points it at the door. He wakes up and closes it, but he doesn't close it all the way. And he's got the light on in the other room, and you just see like this hand slowly come in, super long, skinny hand, put it on the door, open it. He's still got to duck his head again to get in, and then walk in and past the camera.
That was terrifying.
Oh,
man.
I hate that one.
Now
I can't sleep like that.
It's that one really messed with me.
The one outside the house is the one that gets me, because he just peeks in and then he kind of runs by. There's another time where he looks out the window, and you can kind of tell he's got no features, right, Slenderman?
Yeah.
He's looking straight, but the window will be like to his left corner, and so the dude peeks out the window and he just suddenly looks there. Oh, I hate that one too.
I haven't seen that. You should
that's
show
like
me that.
I think that's like entry 7, 2
I
or
need
7,
to
somewhere
see that,
between there,
yeah.
I think. Oh God, I hate that one.
But for me, I guess I really don't have one, truthfully. I'm trying to think about it, and it's like, do I really?
Have you ever heard of the Russian sleep experiment?
That one's amazing.
Yeah, I really like that one.
That one's disturbing.
Can you explain it?
Do you know the
I
specifics
don't
of that
know
one?
specifics.
Okay,
so I think I remember it pretty well. So the Russians wanted to experiment on sleep deprivation and what that would do to you. And so I think they had something like 7 test subjects in the same room. And so, as they do this, they're keeping them awake. And eventually they start all going insane and killing each other and eating each other and not talking at all. Because they would have like a button where they could talk to them, give them food and water and stuff through a little, opening that they would just slide it under. And they stopped responding one day. And so they kept trying to buzz them. Eventually they opened the door and had to take these guys away. Like nails are gone on all of them because they're just clawing at each other and ripping each other apart. It's creepy.
Yeah, it was like some kind of toxin they were putting in to make them not fall asleep. And I can't remember the exact line that it ends with, but it's something really creepy that they finally speak back to him about. And so they could they were like able to tear their insides out and just become dependent on the toxin. And so I think it was only the toxin, and like they ended up taking the oxygen out, but then putting it back in. And when they put the oxygen back in, they were screaming because they didn't like it.
Oh,
and so they had to take the oxygen back out. So it was just that toxin that they were relying on, and it was they were not eating. They had maybe like 8 part of themselves, and they had put their like insides and like feces to cover any. Like a porthole, I think is what it was described as, if I can remember.
My God, that's creepy.
That's scary.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that I can think of is, I don't know where.
Jeff Killer.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know what the location is, but there's I guess a forest where a lot of people commit suicide in.
Japan.
Japan.
Suicide forest.
That one's good.
I was gonna say Japan, but
It's Japan, right?
Yeah.
It's
Japan.
Fuji Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they actually have like signs and stuff there to say think of your loved ones
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah. And I thought that was always kind of like interesting and like creepy.
Is that a creepy pasta?
No, that's
No, that's
actually
real, yeah.
That is, they actually have people who go there and find all the bodies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they find tons in just hours.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll find like 6 a day, and it's crazy.
Yeah. That's
Well, there was this one documentary I watched. It's pretty crazy. It was about the San Francisco Bridge.
Oh yeah.
And they'd record this guy. He was just recording, and he saw a guy jump off, and he stayed like for about I think like 5 months recording just the bridge, and he would see people just jumping off, and he would like talk to the families and all that, and get their story, and like it was a documentary, and he wanted to know what and why they did that. It was a pretty crazy documentary. There was this one guy that I thought was pretty cool that he jumped off. He said he didn't give a shit anymore. He was talking to his dad. He said, don't do anything. Just stay home. Don't go to school. Just we'll have a day off for me and you. We could go have fun and all this. And he was like, yeah, okay. And he actually went to school that day, and he was asking, he's like, well, where are you? He's like, well, I'm at school. He's like, oh, I told you not to go. He's like, yeah, well, I'll just be here for the time being. And so at 12 o'clock, he said he went to the San Francisco Bridge, and he said a lot of people are at the San Francisco Bridge, and they think about it. Like they're contemplating, should I do this or should I, turn back? And he said what he did, he just got on the top part of it, jumped over the bar, and he just jumped, and he flipped, and he went straight down. Said right as he hit the water, he thought he died, but he said he was still, his feet were broken. He said, but there was like a sill or something. I think he said a sill that was under him, like keeping him afloat the whole time.
wow.
And it took him to the bay, and he said that they got him right away, and he didn't realize why he didn't die though, because he said majority of the people that jump from that height die instantly, and
Well, have you heard what most people who jump, what their first thought is?
they fucked up.
Is immediate
Yeah.
regret.
Oh really?
Those who live, yeah.
That's scary to think about.
Yeah.
Just like when you have those, I keep saying but when you have those moments when your heart feels like it drops, I hate those moments, man.
Yeah.
Those are like, let's just say if you drop your phone, you know how important it is to you. I know it sounds stupid, but you're like, oh my god,
First world problems.
I know.
Oh my god, when you drop your phone and you literally die.
I
Don't-
can't even right now.
Don't drop your gold iPhone.
All right,
No.
urban legend though. You didn't tell
me?
us yours.
I'm sorry. Urban legend. Here we go again.
Did you guys ever hear about that lady who ended up being in the hotel water supply?
Yes.
Lisa Lamb. Lisa Lamb.
It's a lame lamb.
That's
No, I don't have an urban legend though. Unfortunately,
With
I'm
the-
sorry.
with the
I do
weird
like
video,
Rake Man
right?
though.
yeah.
You like what?
Well,
Kind
there you
of
go.
hallucinating.
I like Rake Man. I don't know enough
Rake
about him.
Man?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's freaking creepy. It's another creepypasta.
What
He
happened
kind
to
of looks
Rake
like
Man?
Rake. He kind of looks like Slender Man.
Salad fingers?
Nah, he
But-
doesn't look like Slender
Have you
Man.
seen
You don't think
Salad
so?
Fingers? No.
Salad Fingers? Who's that?
It's just a cartoon some guy made on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, let's look up Rake Man real quick. I don't know much about him though, but I think he's interesting looking. It's pretty cool. Oh,
Sorry.
don't show me. That's the Skinwalker one.
No.
Let's see. I want to
Isn't
see.
that the Rake Man?
No,
No, that's a skinwalker.
Oh.
but the Rake Man. I need a.
Yeah, and before there was that picture,
Mhm.
natives that would explained it as that. And the way
Okay.
they would, because they could, shape shift, but
Yeah.
they would have to. They could be deer, any animal. That was the main thing, I think, was animals. But they had to kill that animal, kind of gut it or whatever, and they would stretch its skin out on the ground, and they got to run and roll into it.
Wow,
Is how they become that animal.
that's weird. Yeah, but I don't. I guess I really don't. The Rake Man's cool. I don't know much about him. I know after we're done with this podcast, I'm gonna think about it a lot. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
like,
as soon as
"Oh,
we stop recording.
we're gonna stop recording, and I'm gonna have the urban legend that I like the most, and be like, boom, that one's awesome. But there's this one. This is probably the one I'll. It's not really a creepypasta or urban legend. It was just a story that I read recently, about 2 days ago. I know. I'm sorry. Okay, but it could be. It's weird. There's this guy. He said he worked at a gas station at night shift. Long story short is, there's this one dude would mess with time, and he was really fucked up looking.
He would mess with time?
I know it sounds weird, but like they'd look at the security camera footage, and he said that he would see oil being missing, and that's when the guy would leave. I forget his name, but he said the guy would leave, and then all the oil was missing. He said he couldn't catch him in the act though. He kept watching over and over. He said it was getting kind of weird. He said he'd see the same people come into the store, but at different times. And he said it wasn't just relapping the video over. It wasn't just a loop over and over again. It was actually the same person come in at a different, like about 4 hours later, and then they'd leave. The same person coming, back and forth. They would do the same exact thing. And he said at one point in the footage that he saw the one coworker's face on the directly looking at the camera, like zoomed in. It was extremely I know. And he said he would like smile and but the story was so cool because you keep reading the first part of it and you go all the way down. It was pretty long, and he said, I don't know what happened, but I'll call the cops. And it says like an hour later, yeah, same sentence, I'll call the cops, blah blah blah, same sentence an hour later. I'm like, what's going on? He says, sorry guys, I don't know why this happened. It was really weird. It's fucked up and creepy when you read it.
Yeah.
And then the next part, he's like, all right guys, so this new coworker started working, and it just starts looping all over back again. I'm like,
that's weird.
That's messed up. I thought that was really an interesting story, but yeah, I'm sorry I don't have a urban legend. Bigfoot.
Okay, Bigfoot, there you go. Are we done then?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
That was
Okay.
I think
interesting.
that's everything.
All right.
But
thanks.
last thing, I'm sorry.
Okay,
No,
okay.
I'm sorry. No, I know. But don't you guys like it how we start talking about these stories and any simple thing you hear freaks you out? Like,
Yeah,
I
like
keep
the
hearing
door-
that thing.
Yeah.
By the
Yeah,
door.
so
Our
we
neighbors are being loud.
our awareness.
Yeah, it's
is
not
up.
usually when neighbors are loud, we're say it's goddamn neighbors, but now it's just because we're super focused. It's like, is that a
Aware,
ghost?
it's
No, we
weird.
live in an apartment complex. People are going to leave their house.
Yeah, but that's all I wanted to say. When you start talking about stuff like this, you get more aware and you start thinking a lot harder. And
Well,
just
those
freak
listening,
yourself out.
I hope you sleep well tonight.